Just an exciting game for us to come out and the two things we've been preaching for the last few weeks are just make sure that we're flying around and competing and playing together. I thought that showed tonight. We had 26 assists. We beat them on the glass. It's a really physical veteran team. And when we look like that, we're pretty tough to beat.
Okay, questions for the student athletes.
Nate, for you.
Oh, sorry. We have a microphone. That's my bad. Yeah, all good. Yeah. So we'll start here with Jeff, and then we'll give you a chance. Okay.
Nate, I have a question for you. You came from Washington to join this team. What did Coach Riley tell you during the process that convinced you it was the right place, and how has this been for you? Because it certainly seems to have gone well.
Oh, it's been great. Main thing he said to me is he wants me to be his point guard. He gave me a great opportunity when no one really trusted in me. So can't thank him enough for that. And, I just got to go out there and perform for him and my team every night. So I'm going to keep doing.
Ethan, can you just talk a little bit about how well what you guys did at Eastern has translated to Washington State now, and what Coach brings to the equation?
Yeah, I think we set a good foundation on what we did at Eastern, and we kind of brought that over to Washington State. And I think, Coach brings that hard work, and he knows how to win games. And I think, for the years to come here after this year too, there's going to be a lot of winning at Washington State.
Nate, there's one play in the second half. You get a steal. You have kind of a break. It would have been kind of a tough layup. You pull out, and then you drive in later. Can you kind of talk about the way that maybe your game's matured in that way, to kind of take the step back, not get sped up, and then just still see the lane and attack the rim?
I would just say for me, a couple of times earlier, we probably took an early one that was probably not the right shot for the time and score. So, I just thought in that moment that was the right time to just, pull it out, waste some time. We were up, I don't know how much at that time. And then, they just didn't guard me, so I just attacked after that, and I think we got a great shot. So I think just playing these lot of games, a lot of minutes, that's what comes with maturing. I think I'm maturing really well. So
For either of you guys, Ethan, the first half, you're 8 of 9 for 20 points. You end the game 8 of 9 with 22 points. Can you just kind of talk about the way that it kind of speaks to the depth of the team, to where you don't necessarily even have to shoot in the second half? You guys can still find a way to be effective offensively.
Yeah, I think it's just the flow of the game. I think naturally in the second half, they're probably going to key on me a little bit if I score more points in the first half. I feel like from my experience and the time I've played, I don't think I forced anything. And like you say, we have a lot of depth in this team, and Nate ended up with 22 points as well. So, he got it going a little bit more in the second half, and as well as Ree. So, yeah, I think it speaks volumes to our depth we have, and we have loads of guys that can score.
Nate, there's a couple times where LMU cut it to single digits. I think right before halftime they got it to 8, and then later on in the second half they got it to, I think, around there. But both times you guys answered those with your own runs. I'm wondering where that comes from, and how much of that is the maturity that you just talked about a minute ago.
Yeah, those runs were all, self-inflicted. We were giving up offensive rebounds, turning over the ball, taking bad early shots. So I think we just came in, talked about it, said we got to guard, get some kills, 3 stops in a row, and just take good shots on offense. And then we just got back into our flow and went back up, we went up 20, whatever that was. So I think this team is maturing really well. Over these last couple weeks, it's been hard. So I think we've just been learning really well, and we're just going to keep growing over these next couple of days.
And for either of you guys, Ree is now 12 of his last 16 from deep, which seems a little crazy. But I'm wondering, the impact of having him back in the lineup, and just what that does for you guys on offense.
Yes, it's massive for us. I think just his energy today. I know obviously he hit 4 threes, but I think the bigger ones he had three offensive rebounds. I think you can look at the threes, and he is a great shooter, but for him to come in and grab 3 boards, I think that's a game changer for us. And then as well for him to be able to knock down shots it adds a whole nother kind of look to our team.
For either of you guys, can you just talk about how excited and optimistic you might be going forward in this tournament, and what you think you can do?
I think we could beat anybody. We played all these teams before. We know we know what they can do. They know what we can do, and I think we just go out there, play together, play hard. We can beat anybody, so we just got to go out there and do it and play WSU basketball.
But yeah, I'd say the same thing. I think these last 3 games really feel like we found our rhythm as a team. I think if you watch us too, you can kind of feel that energy. And like kind of Nate said, I think that gives us a lot of confidence going into this next game.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Yes, yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Got one his freshman year too.
And then Nate, looking ahead specifically to San Francisco tomorrow, you guys got them at home, they got you at home. What do you guys need to do tomorrow to get past that team?
Just get some good rest tonight, recover, get our bodies back right. Obviously they're a great team. They beat us and we beat them. So just got to go out there. It's going to be a dogfight, and just whatever team plays the hardest is going to win. So I think we're going to do that tomorrow.
Okay, we have a few people online. Anyone online want to ask a question really quick of the student athletes? If not, we'll dismiss you guys. Go ahead. And the locker room's open for another about 15 minutes. So if you want to stay here and talk to coach, or if you want to go there and get student athletes, just know that timing, that they'll be, we'll close the locker room in about 15 minutes.
Couple of things, David. Can you just talk about how pleased you are, how well the transition's gone moving from to WSU, and then secondly, what you expect in the game tomorrow against San Francisco?
It's been a hectic year, just year one, putting in a lot of new things with a lot of new people, and really just kind of getting the spirit right at the end of the season, I think is a great thing to see where our team's at. We have people come to our shoot arounds, they come to our practices last week and that aren't really part of the program. And the one comment they keep on talking about is how much energy we have in the room and the spirit of our guys. And I just think that means a lot to have gone through what we've gone through, kind of that month of February where we burn out, and to come back with this kind of spirit is exciting to see.
San Francisco tomorrow?
San Francisco tomorrow is going to be a heck of a game. I mean, they put a number on us at their place. At our place, we had a good game against them and won early in the season, and it's going to be just a really high-level college basketball game.
Excuse me, and apologize for my voice or lack thereof. You talk about San Francisco tomorrow. How different is the preparation for them without Marcus Williams?
To be totally honest, I saw that tweet like yesterday, and I haven't really followed up, and I was waiting to hear more information before we really made that determination if we're going to scout him or not.
I think the San Diego game a couple of weeks ago, obviously, they almost turned into a bit of a disaster. They're late. You guys have been faced with similar situations the last two games, and you didn't really let it spiral. I think tonight it got down to 8. You put it back up to 20. Do you feel like something maybe clicked after that game to say, hey, we need to finish stronger?
Yeah, I think, again, like with a team that hasn't had much experience playing this league or playing together or playing for me, there's a lot of first, tough lessons you got to learn. And I think we're starting to do that. Like we had a film session that was just a bunch of turnovers and basically that last 3-4 minutes of that San Diego game. And I think our guys grew from that. We had Nate out of the game, and we had some other guys that were handling the ball, and that was a first for a lot of those guys. And I thought that helped us going into today, and it was cool to see them grow from that experience.
Just to clarify, ND can play tomorrow.
Good.
No, like Matt, is that the case, or
that's my? I don't want to comment yet. Okay. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm pretty sure he can.
Okay. Well, either way, just like, what was your view on the foul he got? And you seemed pretty fired up after that. What was kind of going through your head in that moment?
I didn't see the play. I saw them get a little scuffle. I didn't see the headbutt or anything. And really, I just wanted our team to have energy. Like we talked yesterday, whenever we get a stop, to make sure that we're the loudest bench, that we're celebrating, that we're connected, and we got to stop right there. Our bench wasn't like hyped for it because they were thinking about whatever just happened with ND, and I just want to make sure that we're staying in the moment. Like this thing is too fragile right now for us to think about anything else than the fact that we just got to stop. And for whatever reason, it turned into way more than to me just celebrating a stop, and it was kind of cool to see.
David, throughout the bulk of the season, win or loss, you've really emphasized staying mentally composed, don't let go of the rope. Is it fair to say that out of all the things tonight, that the team staying composed through a full 40 was probably the part you take most pride in?
Absolutely. I mean, I as I was walking with Nate down the hallway, I thought he had great presence this whole game. You look down the line, like all these guys played to their strengths. Ethan was a versatile mismatch nightmare. Luwan comes in. I think he had 6 rebounds in the first 5 minutes. He ended up with 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover. Nate obviously had a hell of a game. Like you can just go down the line. These guys played to their strengths. They stayed right where they needed to be. They didn't try to go outside the box too much. And we'll have different guys step up tomorrow. Like there's guys that didn't have their best shooting game or whatever like that, but I just thought our spirit and our consistency was really good.
Yeah, coach. I know this ain't your first conference tournament, and ain't your first conference tournament with this staff, but just the preparation process, how has that been preparing for this tough LMU team? And then knowing tomorrow you got probably a San Francisco team that you just said had handed a number on you, but what's the preparation process been like with just the staff and the players and all that?
You know, our staff really worked their tails off, and they had three scouts ready this whole week, and I personally kind of hedged my bets, and I just went all in on LMU this week, and I was gonna say I was gonna stay up all night if one of the other two teams won, and I got lucky. So I actually got some sleep last night, which is great. Tonight might not be the same. So our staff, they've really locked in. I think we've got a good system going where we can. I think we started off games really well, and I think that's a sign of kind of having a good game plan, having the guys bought into that. And so we just got to make sure we're doing the same tomorrow.
Any other questions? Oh, right up here.
Dave, those two runs that Greg mentioned when Nate kind of was able to put you guys on his back and get that lead back up to double digits, how big were those, especially when you guys probably could have folded in earlier in the season, but you guys were able to bounce right back, and especially with his leadership at point?
That's what we need. Like, I think it takes time. Like it's every team's trying to be consistent for 40 minutes, and that's really hard to do because we're going to throw a punch and they're going to have a plan, they're going to adjust and they're going to throw a punch. And so it's a lot easier said than done. And it takes guys going through a fire together. And these guys have progressively done that throughout the season. And I think it's starting to show that experience and them understanding, okay, Nate just did this, here's what usually happens. And DeJuan just did this here. Okay, Ethan does that. And you can really start to have that connectivity. That's what you need to break runs and to have momentum plays. And I just think that was cool to see tonight.
And then seeing 5 guys in double figures, you mentioned that depth. How much confidence do you think those guys on the bench and even some guys who are lower down have kind of gained over the last few weeks to be able to come out here tonight and perform like that?
That was a huge deal in the Pepperdine game, our last game. We outscored the other team's bench, I think 35 to something. And I think that's what those guys need. They have experience coming in, playing at their best. Like, I thought Indy and Ree and Thomas had some big minutes today. Parker's had some big minutes. Like, you can just go down the line with these guys, and I just think our bench is starting to get more experience. And part of it's they're young. Like, Thomas is a freshman. He's basically a sophomore now with the minutes he's played. Same thing with Parker Garrett's hadn't played a D1 minute. He's a freshman this year, and so these guys are getting experience. They're getting comfortable, and they're turning into more veteran players.
Okay. Any questions online? We've got a few people. Use the raise hand function if you want to ask a question. Going once, going twice. Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Go Cougs.